the big 6 games, before anything, the big 6 games, am I the only one that thinks that the matches this season between the big 6 have just been the quality of
Have
the
they
games
not always been like that though? I feel like that's why Sky have kind of moved them away from Super
Sundays. What are you saying? They're giving us Forest and Newcastle.
Yeah, bro.
If
you notice, so many years, bro, how many times have you seen, especially what was the one last week? United Chelsea. That is a horror show.
Yeah, that was horror.
Year.
That was horror.
Like, I think Arsenal Chelsea sometimes throws good ones, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of the top 6 sides are underwhelming when they play each other.
That's the thing, because I think a lot of people, we're looking at the league, for example. We're talking about United. We're talking about the other teams. So we're looking at the league, and a lot of teams have 15 points, 16, 17, 18, whatever. It stretches to 13th place.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, the level of the league have gone higher. But I'm like, but when you watch these big teams play against each other, we're walking away from these games saying, wow, there was a lack of quality. I vividly remember us saying that about the City Arsenal game, Chelsea Man United, you guys today, and amongst other games, Arsenal Spurs. Remember, I came in with the water
1-0
to wash my eyes. A lot of these games, bro, like the quality of these games. So we can talk about the league is improving, but is the top end of the table improving?
No,
it's not. The top end is declining.
The chase impact.
We've always said here that the competitive nature of the Premier League's increased because the rest of it is becoming a level playing field. Like now, if you were to think of your mid-table teams in the Premier League, the names that will come to head would be like Brighton, Bournemouth. That wasn't always the case. That's competitive. At the top, it's not really. And the thing is, because all of these big teams at the top were so used to beating everyone else, it was like, if in our little mini league, I get maybe 2 more points than you, I win the league. Simple. That's all it's been.
And I feel like
that's all it's ever been.
And as you said, I think the chase impact, there's been a lot of improvements there in my opinion, in terms of signings, managers, the way they play. Whereas I think those big 6 clubs, aside from maybe a City, a Liverpool, Arsenal, I feel like there's been a lot of mismanagement at those clubs, if that makes sense. So the quality has dropped massively at a lot.
I feel like
also,
this is feeling like
fatigue. There's fatigue at those clubs. You've seen it. City look burnt out. Liverpool were burnt out last year. They've been trying to. It's like people are sniffing blood and then trying to capitalise, but it's about, can that chasing pack capitalise for a long enough stint? I don't want to call the Leicester title charge an example, but remember, Leicester were just in and amongst it. Everyone else was mucking around, tired, dead.
Yes, I feel like this season for me, it's feeling a little bit like, I remember when we won the league with Van Persie. That season, great from Van Persie, great from us.
Like everything else was tired.
It was tired. Like even us, we were a bit tired, bro. We had like 10 comebacks. Do you know what I mean? We're 1-0 down most games and we'll come back and win. Like, and 15-16 is another season where people point to. I'm kind of feeling like this year is kind of similar. I'm feeling like it might be one of them years you look back at and you're just like, season was kind of tight.
With that said though,
what were you about to say?
Forest, can you do something?
Is Cam preempting a Liverpool title win and trying to find a way to discredit?
Here we go.
I'm new to sing. Because I remember when last time Liverpool won the title, I was like, hey, COVID, asterisk.
I actually backed them. No, I backed Liverpool. I backed Liverpool through COVID because City were the COVID title, not Liverpool. Remember, I backed them. But all I'm going to say is there's 27 games to go.
Alright, relax. The way United fans have been tweeting this last week, I hate you lot when you lot get excited.
Before
worst thing.
You asked the question about Arsenal. The reason why I thought that Arsenal's title run may be over is less so Arsenal, it's more so everything else. With everything we've just mentioned now, we've mentioned that teams might be tired, there's a lack of ideas, the signings are not invigorating anything. We're talking about City needing to make signings in January. We're talking about Arsenal needing forwards. I think the one thing that Liverpool have is they have this sense of newness in terms of a new manager, but also a sense of jeopardy that you're going to probably lose your best 3 players, so we've got something to fight for. The prime example before we go into them is, you see when they lost against Forest, it reminded me of Lee for sure. They said, I understand it now.
Yeah, I understand it now.
They ain't lost since. I understand it now. I understand it now. They ain't lost since. They've got that sense of something to keep them going. Pep looks like he's tapped out of the race already.
Pep is doing
he's trying to find everything.
He did that 2 seasons ago. We're out of the title race.
Bro, he's trying to do everything at the moment.
Obviously, before we move on, what do you think about the title race? So for Arsenal, 9 points behind Liverpool now. Liverpool are on very, very good form. We're going to speak about Liverpool in a bit, but on the Arsenal side of things, I think Fuad, is it over?
I think it's over. I think. Well, listen, I don't like making definitive statements in November. I think it's far too early. Anything can still happen. But in terms of being one of the 4 front runners, if you like. I don't think that's the case. Now they're coming from the back. They've got to have like a good long stretch of a run.
Yeah, he's moving mad. But let's keep
They've got a good long stretch run
Yeah.
to actually win it. But listen, even at the start of the season before a ball was kicked, I think I didn't have them as the favourites. I had them as second place. I had City as comfortable favourites. City playing the way they're playing. I think now Liverpool have taken that driving seat. It's theirs to lose.
But what is it about Arsenal? Like, obviously you're saying it's over, right? But what is it about Arsenal that makes you say that they can't claw that back?
I don't think they have the same kind of gusto about them that they had the past 2 years. I think the injuries, now you're seeing it's kind of taxing them very heavily as well. Players like Odegaard, Saka injured today. We don't know how long that's going to be. Might not be long at all. But I just don't look at them with the same kind of...
Panache.
I don't know what the word is, but the last 2 years, you almost felt like no matter what, they'll get a run going. They'll get something going together. Like now, they've conceded the same amount of goals as you lot. Like that's not Arsenal as we knew. They don't look as kind of resilient as before as well, if that makes sense. But they're still playing just as defensive.
Since Ange's 10-match run at the start of the season, his record in the Premier League is 17 wins, 5 draws, 17 losses.
Yep.
That is 56 points over the last 39 matches.
What if I told you as well?
That's sack form,
Came
bro.
to the realization that your watch is fake.
Bro, he's lost as many
as he's won.
games as he's won
That's
in the
how
last 30.
inconsistent we have been, brother. The second half of last season, everybody remembers what it was. Our arse essentially fell out. And the way we've started this season was the exact same as we did last year. All we've seen this year is a change in the system, which kind of helped us going forward a little bit. But defensively, this made us even more vulnerable. And that's where I'm like, we wanted evolution, but this is a different type of evolution. Even if you look at this whole calendar year of 2024, bro, you know we've only won 3 away games.
Yeah, 16 points.
The whole of
from
2024
from 11 games. Ange lost. I just said Ange lost 38 games. 50 was it 56 points or whatever it was? No, 53. Sorry, 56 in the last 39 games. Conte got sacked with 75 points from his last 38.
Yeah, Conte obviously they sacked him because they didn't want to back him, and then B also he went full volatile in the presser.
Where do you stand on the Ange discussion? Because bro, honestly, just while you were talking, I just wrote Ange into X. And wow,
there was a lot of booze in the stadium today as well.
There's a lot of booze of the fan base now that is fully Ange out.
I actually didn't see Ange out happening.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Here's the thing. I'm not there. I'm not there personally, and the reason why I'm not there is, listen, coming into this club, it was never going to be a one season we're going to turn into contenders. If we won today, hypothetical, if we won today, it would have been Europa League. We've only got 1 loss. We just knocked City out of the League Cup, and we're 3rd in the league. Things aren't so bad, are they? But it's because of the manner of we're losing. Yeah. That's where I feel like a lot of people are getting rubbed up the wrong way. And I think for me, it's the stubbornness of Ange in previous presses. That's why today after the game, when he said, you know what, I might have to switch it up a little bit, I'm like, please, that's what I want to hear. And now moving forward, we're going to look even further, because let's not forget, you were the one that put the pressure on yourself to say, second season, I always win, mate.
You got the Carabao. You got the Carabao.
We're monitoring now. We're monitoring, brother. We want to see some evolution. We want to see some... Can you tighten up that defence?